Welcome, friends, across the globe to the Great British Mickey Waffle. We're going to continue our money-saving theme from last week, but quite possibly set out a challenge to everyone for your next visit to Orlando. How many things can you see, do, or even take home with you as a memento for free? Get the notepad out, because there's going to be a list by the end of this show. Welcome to the Great British Mickey Waffle, live.
Now my wheels in motion and my windows open with the wind blowing in my hair. I'm driving down the highway, gonna do this my way. I can feel it in the air. Here I go.
There you go. Just when you thought we had all their money-saving tips in the bag from last week, we're going to raise the bar. No, not that one, Claire. You're all right. Right. I'm John, and we're delving into a possible myriad of mystery as we try and find Disney and free in exactly the same sentence. I think that is something to behold. We also welcome Claire back. So it probably means that Mark Jones is not going to have a snowstorm and he's going to have to stay in work all day. And actually, he's been in the chat the past couple of weeks when you've not been there, Claire, and he's been mightily miffed that he's missed out on you. So there you go.
I was going to say I was going to take that personally about the fact that he decided to turn up when I wasn't here. How very dare!
It was a work thing. He got snowed out of work, so they sent everybody home. But it happened two Wednesdays in a row. So
the two that I wasn't here for. I did not have snow last week.
Yeah.
No, I'd be very surprised if you had snow where you were, Claire.
Right.
Oh dear! And as you can hear, we've got Ben with us as well. So welcome, Ben.
Hello.
Good to have you back on the show. So
I know.
We held the fort perfectly last week.
Thank you so much. I appreciate the efforts.
We saved a lot of money last week, Claire.
Yeah.
Was it Disney Math Day?
Yeah, pretty much.
I like that.
I'm looking forward to any Disney executives that are listening into this, going like, "Oh, what are we giving away for free? What should we?
What we shouldn't be?
Yeah. I think that
Great charge for it all.
Yeah. It could possibly be something in that as well.
Apologies to anything going forward if these start to be chargeable in future.
Yeah. Oh dear. Yeah, that could be something, couldn't it?
Not our fault.
No, we take no responsibility.
As always.
Whether we save money or cause you to spend more money, we take no responsibility.
Speaking of which, I'm going to get the plug in really nice and early here, right? New podcast out on Saturday because it's the first of the month. We're discussing all things villa rentals. Yeah, again, ways you can save money, ways that you can spend money as well. We're good at doing that. But yeah, for those who play Waffle Bingo, just see how many times we can remind you that by the end of the show, and I think that would be. I think we could keep going in and out of that all the way through, but
absolutely,
it's a really good show, and
it's always that hunt for a pine kitchen.
Oh dear.
Yeah,
I'm never going to be allowed to forget that.
No, never.
It's an important thing. There's lots of things that are important, but it's a good show actually. I enjoyed recording that one and talking about, you and I both stayed in villas. Ben hasn't yet, but lots of people do, and I think we've talked about maybe doing a show about off-site hotels as well. How you can save some money. You don't always have to give your money to the mouse.
No, it's realizing how much you actually spend and actually where is your money best distributed through your holiday.
Right. It's distributed in places that you need to spend it. And tonight we're talking about stuff that's free, which is even better.
So you need to save that little bit of money. If you've overspent on that sort of villa or that hotel, you're like, let's do something for free. What can we do?
Yeah, absolutely. There's loads.
Yeah, I think that'd be good.
Or get someone to pay for you. That's
the other option.
That always works. I like that thought. Yeah. That's always a bonus. I think you could go down the Tim Tracker route. Getting all that Universal to actually just pay for your actual. You stay in a certain hotel so you can actually vlog it and things like that. You can only aspire to such things,
Maybe.
Yeah, as I end up having to pay full whack,
Yep. Whether you like it or not.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't get a choice in it. You know, but it's one of them. Right, shall we see who's in the chat? Because actually, last week we had the chat was actually on fire last week. I thought that was such a good thing. I know we have got a couple of people that we want to give a special mention to as well, because we can, and it's Wednesday, and I think that'd be quite nice. But yeah, come on, let's see who's there. I'm desperately trying to get YouTube on me.
It's fine. Megan is there, Megan, we just want to send all the love over your way. And Robert, if he's watching, get well soon, Robert. We know that you've not been very well. So you know what? It's great that you're here. Sorry you're not at school, but it's nice that you can join us, Megan, and hopefully Robert's somewhere in the background. And so yeah, little waffle wave to Robert.
Yeah, definitely. Get well soon.
Who else is there? Sean is with us, and apparently is a Geordie with loose morals, which I can't believe at all. So Sean, we've missed you. We really have.
He was here last week, Claire. You missed everyone turned up last week. It was one of them weeks where when you look at it and you think, oh wow, look at that.
They're just waiting for me to be away on holiday.
I think that might be it.
However, did you tell everyone? Did you send separate messages? Or a separate group chat? I'm not in.
Was that in the Facebook post? Oh, Claire's not here. Come and join in.
I think there's a separate group chat that I'm not in, and you tell people, well, I'm going to be away, and they all join in.
It's only me that happens to. I don't do group chats and things like that. It comes as a surprise when you find stuff out, and it's all after the event.
Yeah, John, you look at your Facebook Messenger like once every 12 months, so it's
to catch up. Yeah, exactly. I'm like, oh, look at that. Yeah, I better wish such and such happy birthday for 6 months ago and things like that. Yeah.
And Heather's here, and Heather's always here.
Yeah,
thank you very much for always being here.
I really appreciate that.
I was going to say, actually, I don't know whether it's good to mention this now, but I think from next week, there's going to be a time change for those in the States, or is that the following week? I can't remember what daylight savings time is.
Ben, it's going to be it's confusing enough without getting confused.
It's going to go to like 4 hours time difference instead of 5. But best thing to do is to make sure that you're subscribed to our YouTube channel and click the notifications so that you'll get notified when we go live. So in case you do miss it,
which it did tonight, which was really good.
Is that a good reminder for you, John?
Technology works.
It does, yeah. And she's like, there you go. Look, watch live now. The Great British Mickey Waffle. There you go.
Here we are. We're entering that weird daylight savings thing where the UK and US don't align for a few weeks. So keep an eye out.
Yeah. And also there'll be a lot savings. Yeah, I'd imagine it's great if you're watching us live as part of the show. Do send us some of your very favourite. I'll hasten to add legally free tips. Right, we're not going to get ourselves in trouble for stealing half of Disney and chopping stuff off rides and ride queues and things like that.
Yeah, cucumbers.
Yeah, cucumber.
Living with the land.
Yeah, and if you're watching on catch up, which I think quite a lot of people will this week. Because actually, there's quite a lot of live football on. So if I get distracted, then it's not my fault. So I think people will catch up eventually. Come and join us in the Facebook virtual pub, the Waffler's Arms. Share your own experiences to add to those in the show as well. And for those listening to the podcast, which comes out on a Friday, a massive thank you for downloading us. And actually, since we merged the Wednesday show with the usual bi-monthly podcast, we actually realized we should have done that a whole lot sooner, because actually we know that there's loads of people actually listening. And a massive thank you for that, because actually it's good to do this on a Wednesday. And it's really, really nice to know that it kind of translates to a podcast on a Friday. And wherever you listen to it, be in the car, at the gym, on your commute to work, whatever. A massive thank you.
I was going to say, my commute for work's really different now. So I used to be able to listen to a podcast, but now I have to listen
3 steps to the lounge.
Yeah. I'm going to say this now, because actually it gets out of the way and I don't forget, but at the very end of the show last week, I think it was Hannah who put a message in the chat, and it was really, really heartfelt. And it was all about the fact that, it was the fact that you mentioned the fact it was like a collective hug on a Wednesday. And actually, I think after the show we were actually in pieces because actually it was just a perfect way of describing what we do. And it doesn't matter how bad your week is, and you come on and you're just sharing a little bit of Disney, a little bit of holiday stuff for just an hour off, maybe an hour and a bit. But it actually just puts you in a much better place to deal with Thursday and Friday. So yeah, a collective midweek hug. I think we should have that as a little tagline or something.
Oh, that's a good idea.
What we do. It is really nice, and I think it sums up the way I think we've always wanted to do this, because we're now nearly 6 years into doing all this podcasting shenanigans stuff, right? And actually, we all hope that that's how it looks and how it sounds at home. And so it sums up exactly why we do this. And I just thought it was a really lovely thing. So a massive thank you again.
Maybe
it's 6 years on that we sound a lot better than we did 6 years ago.
At
least we look any better though.
The wonders of AI.
Ben had hair when we started.
Yeah,
I used to be able to talk properly when we started all this as well. Like,
I was thinking you could use a tagline: a collective hug on Hump Day, but that doesn't sound right. You've been ready for 2 weeks.
We might get into trouble for that.
I think we should move us on, because I think there's a bit of news this week I think that we're going to need to talk about.
We're going to do...
I miss being able to do that. But do you remember I was at a Friday night live shows we used to do, where I just like
random graphics?
Yeah.
Thanks, Ben. Go on, what's the news today?
I've just read Sean's message in the chat. Sorry, Sean, I do apologise for ruining your gym sessions.
Yeah. I was trying to keep us on track for once.
There was only one news, one bit, the biggest bit
there's more news than you think. There's a lot more. But I still think that as we always, every week, we look at what's the news. And recently, Walt Disney World has filed a new permit,
news.
For repainting of the iconic Rock and Roller Coaster guitar at Hollywood Studios.
Wow.
Do you reckon they're going to make it Muppet themed?
I think maybe. Who knows?
I don't know. I've just got visions of like
animal
on the guitar. I don't know.
Yeah, but they have to.
He's a drummer.
Yeah, he is a drummer. I was going to say that. You won't get. I think what they'll do is, that massively paint splattered building that used to be a really cracking Muppet shop as you came out of out of the show. They'll end up doing something like that, I reckon. And I think that's the problem, isn't it? Like,
who knows? I'm sure we'll find out eventually.
Yeah,
I reckon it'll probably just look the same.
But they do need to get rid of the use of the wording with Aerosmith and things like that. So that'll just get the Tipex out, maybe. That might be the painting.
Oh, Tipex, that's going back a while, John.
Yeah.
There's other news this week.
Yeah.
Is there?
Yes. The other news this week that I think most people have watched in the last 24, 36 hours online is the removal of the virtual queue for Guardians of the Galaxy Cosmic Rewind. And if you've missed it, there's been a lot of talking about it and a lot of people raging about queue times. And actually, it hasn't been that bad. It did go up to 170 minutes at one point, but generally it's
I
not.
think that was probably on park opening that first
half
an hour.
Yeah.
And I've seen
throughout the day I was tracking it and it was about 40 to 50 minutes for
it's 50 minutes. It's 50 minutes just now.
Right, this minute it's 50 minutes, which is
mid-afternoon.
Yeah.
It's pretty good. And then I know the park isn't particularly busy at the moment, and it will get busier.
Weekends, we'll see what happens.
Yeah, but it seems manageable, and I just think once you get Test Track back up and running,
I'm surprised they haven't waited to the Test Track, but
who knows? It's a bit of an odd one because normally they can only have 2 virtual queues running at any time. So now they've only got Tiana, haven't they?
No.
And has that gone too? So they've got rid of all. I wonder if they're going to do an IT reboot or something.
Yeah, I just wonder whether virtual queues have had its time.
Yeah.
I don't know. I didn't have an issue with the 7 o'clock thing. I'm
liked
a little
it
bit
because
annoyed.
because I used to get like, I don't know, it was always a challenge to get between like group 1 and 10.
So I'm actually a bit annoyed that the best I've done is group 2.
Yeah.
And I did that in October, I think it was. This now means I will never get group 1. And that really does grate on me.
You need to bring back for queue
But
any just so you
I
guys
shall.
group.
I have to satisfy myself with group 1 loading onto the airplane instead, because I'm now group 1 for getting on planes. So I'll deal with that instead. But I was like convinced, right? I've got group 2, I've had group 3, I've had group 5. I'm going to get group 1, and I was just like, now I can't. I'm actually a little bit annoyed.
Sean's comment. Imagine if there was never a group 1.
Well, Sean will never know. Group 1 didn't ever exist.
Yeah.
I think another thing to bear in mind as well, and this is going to be a new game that I feel will become your replacement for your search for group 1, because it's now queuable, and you can buy a lightning lane, and you can go and queue again, and you can go and queue again.
Can you get all 6 in a day?
Who's going to get the 6 songs in one day? Now that is absolutely amazing.
Claire, you're staying at Beach Club later this year, so that's a deluxe resort, extended evening hours.
Oh man!
So you can be
Never mind getting double max out on Buzz Lightyear. This is the new one. This is the epic.
I think collectively, as we're all there this summer, that we should try and do that. Not in one day.
Do you reckon we could fill a whole vehicle? How many of us? I reckon we could probably take up all 10 rows.
Wow.
Have we got 20 people? We could just do the whole thing.
Oh,
that'd be awesome. See who's right, Megan. We've got to do this. This is the new challenge.
Yes.
We need to send an advanced party. Who can we send off to do? That sounds like a Zach Brown challenge.
It's definitely a Zach Brown challenge.
I'll have a word and see if he can go give it a go.
Speaking of Zach Brown, and I'm not sure if anybody out there actually listens to, he's got a podcast about the Zach Brown show. If you go and have a listen, Josh and Morgan on his latest podcast, and it is such a really, really lovely chat between the three of them. And actually, I think Josh tagged him on his Insta last week and basically called him Orlando brother.
Yeah,
and that's how it comes across. It comes just as like the three of them just reminiscing about a summer.
The Waffle House chat was hysterical. That really made me laugh.
It's lovely. It's just got an absolute warmth to it. It's lovely to listen to.
And Zach's podcast is great, and he is a friend of the show. He's a proper friend of the people here as well. We all love him, and I'm wearing my Zach Brown Show T-shirt tonight that I bought after. I think it's worth going and listening to. It's a nice wholesome one.
Yeah, I think it's what
a feel good show.
Yeah, it can also make mention. Yeah, Lisa.
2 weeks in a row.
There you go.
I'm so excited.
I meant to say Claire, she was here last week as well.
I wasn't. Where's Mark Jones? We need, we need them all back.
If people are new to this, particularly if you're on the podcast and things like that, please do have a look on our YouTube channel and then find the show from last summer when Zach Brown narrated the Cornhole Challenge, and as narrations go, it's right up there. It really is. It could be worthy of a Hollywood film.
It's
some of the
things that are said.
Yeah.
Living life on the edge. And he's awesome. So his show's out, and then we've got our show out on Saturday.
I'm just putting a link into the YouTube chat for the epic cornhole showdown from last year.
There you go. So you can just click.
Is it a rematch this year?
It can't be replicated because
all the same people are going to be there. So I think maybe we'll do something different. I'm feeling fairways golf, John.
Yeah, I can't fly Josh and Joe out, unfortunately.
No,
so.
Morgan's not coming. So fairways golf, I think is. Sort of club throwing and club snapping. Right. Let's do it. I'm up for that.
Oh dear. Right, should we crack on? Because actually, I've looked at the time. Is there any more news? Because actually, we know.
Do you know what? Epic Universe has team member previews starting from March the 1st.
Yes,
March the 1st, like this Saturday.
This Saturday.
But they're all going to be listening to our podcast. They won't be able to go to Epic Universe.
Yeah, but they'll be a bit while they're in the line. They'll be
The big line.
Yeah.
I
actually just being one of those first sort of team members walk into that park knowing you're going to be working there in a few.
Yeah.
Morgan's got a friend who works for Universal and is one of the team members on the rollout crew for Epic. So I'll see if he's going to go and get some info.
But also, if you're an annual pass holder, I actually think if you're going late March, there might be opportunity. I'm not saying there is, but there might be an opportunity that you actually will get some pass holder sort of insight.
I don't know. I think if you
depends how it goes.
Yeah. I know they've launched the new ticket options for Florida residents.
Yeah.
So you can now buy single day tickets. You don't have to buy a 3-day pass, which is quite good. And they've been testing fireworks recently, and they look incredible.
Interesting times. When I'm there in April, my cousin's going to be there. She's got an annual pass for Universal, and that's like the end of April. So hopefully she might.
That'd be cool, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
Come on, let's talk about free stuff.
Yeah, let's move us on. And
There's a lot of it.
But it's unbelievable because actually, and like I said, free and Disney and actually Universal never normally go hand in hand. So what we're going to do is we're going to see just some of the things that you can actually do to maximize your holiday. Again, I'm going to put the caveat in that when you mention free stuff, it isn't living with the land and taking the cucumbers. That's wrong. It's wrong to start chipping stuff off rides and things like that. And that's just don't do it. I'm going to say that. We'll put that right out there.
You don't want to get banned from a Disney park. Let's put it that way.
Yeah. And actually, what we're going to look at is things that actually you can bring home as mementos and actually things that you can do that are free whilst you're there.
And you can't bring produce back to the UK. So getting stuff from the living with land is probably not the best thing to do.
Definitely not. Definitely not. Where should we start? Because go on, Ben. You start us off.
Do you know what? Every trip that we've gone is usually around like an anniversary or birthday, so we'd always get like one of the celebration buttons from the resorts. Talk of just like that, John.
Just like see, I came prepared. You see, there's also birthday ones as well, which I've got an old one that Joe had as well.
Oh, wow.
I've got a Disneyland Paris one.
Yeah, and they're free, and it's such an easy thing. But what comes from it, is generally a difference in how cast members actually sort of respond to you and things like that, and occasionally you get an extra bit of
recognition, maybe some
little bit of pixie dust that comes your way, and it's just between you and me. It doesn't have to properly be your birthday, as long as you can carry it.
As long as you're celebrating your birthday,
exactly.
Celebrate. So
yes,
there's one that says I'm celebrating, and you can be celebrating anything. You could be celebrating, you know what, being well after being unwell.
Yeah, there was one that I remember when we were there on the days the parks were closing for Hurricane Matthew, and it was like they were giving out. There were cast members were writing on the badges about we were celebrating Hurricane Matthew. Yeah,
and I think
it was just that collective, just
it's all fun.
All in that same boat. So it was.
I'll just say that I don't think the pixie dust isn't guaranteed. It's up to the cast member at the time. And so it may or may not happen for you, but sometimes if you're celebrating something, often at least they'll say happy birthday, and actually other guests say happy birthday to you, or they say congratulations, and actually it's a bit of a community thing. So I like it all.
Have you ever been on the Disney buses where they've made the announcement that it's like
no? I
think we were on a bus once, and it was like we had like happy anniversary badges on. The bus driver said happy anniversary as we got on, because we'd been used to it that day, people saying it to us. But there was another couple on there with us as well, and we were just heading back to the resort, not thinking about it. We just heard this announcement on the thing, and it was just saying like we just want to wish the couple happy anniversary, and it was just like this Mickey and Minnie saying "Happy Anniversary" over the.
I've never heard that.
Yeah,
but buses are not. Yeah.
Buses aren't your thing, Claire.
The Disney bus I can deal with, but
yeah.
And the other one as well, and this is a really cracking idea. Megan in the chat had said you can turn them into magnets to go on the fridge.
Perfect.
Okay.
Well done.
I like that.
Cracking idea, that is, yeah.
Crafting tip with Megan.
Yeah, because otherwise they just sit in the drawer and they sort of.
Yeah. I know, I'm just looking at this drawer. I've got all sorts of.
That's what,
all sorts of. I nearly said a naughty word. All sorts of things in here.
Well, that's a really good one, and actually, it gets you noticed and things like that.
And it's one of those things. If you are going for a meal and you're doing like the check-in through the app, there is an option to are you celebrating something?
Absolutely,
and you can put it on there. And
we've
surprisingly, was it in June 2023? We had quite a lot of pixie dust that trip. There was quite a few freebies that all come from sort of either wearing a celebration badge or so you're not guaranteed it, but actually it's
a nice thing.
It's nice to know that it's being recognised.
Yeah, I like that. I'm going to go for another one, which actually loads of people walk past and possibly don't even know what it is. But in Magic Kingdom, there's a pirate scavenger hunt. Now, think about the walk from Pirates round to Tiana. There's a little hut on the left-hand side. Now, it doesn't look like anything, but as you walk in, they give you a little map, and you go and you actually completely, and there's different maps, so you can actually, as a collection, you can actually do. I think it's either 4 or 6.
I think there's four different.
But you can collect the different maps of Magic Kingdom, and it's really good fun, not just for kids. I hasten to add, because actually adults can have a bit of fun as well doing it. I'm not going to put spoilers in and explain that it takes you to different parts of where Pirates is and things like that. But it's a cracking thing you can do for free. You get something as a memento to take home with you, and it's very similar to Animal Kingdom, where you've got the Wilderness Explorers, at which point everyone has to go. The wilderness must be explored. But again, some for free that loads of people, if you possibly there your first or second time, you're kind of not sure why these little stations appear all the way around Animal Kingdom. But such a really brilliant way of engaging the wildlife part of it, and the knowledge part of it, and the educational part of Animal Kingdom, and actually getting you to explore different parts of the park that possibly, if you're going in just for Pandora or you're going in for Everest, you'll miss. And I just think it's a really cracking thing to do. I love it. I think you're never too old to be able to do it. At one point, and I'm not sure if it's still there, I think it is, there's a paid for scavenger hunt within Animal Kingdom, which again you pay and then you get a magnet at the end, which is really cracking. So it's like on a piece of wood. It looks really quite classy. I'm not sure, that was 2019. I'm not sure if it came back after COVID. I may need to go and explore that myself to see if it's there, but it's really, really good. It's a cracking one.
I guess it's like the what was the Phineas and Ferb thing in Epcot. What's it now? Because it was Kim Possible, then Phineas and Ferb. What is it now?
DuckTales, wasn't it?
DuckTales, yes. So that's another thing.
Has that come back since COVID?
Yeah, Minnie did it last year.
Yeah. But it's all on your phone.
It's all on your phone now. But you can. It's another way of doing that accessibility in terms of an experience that you don't have to pay for, that's available for people to engage with, and it takes you to different parts of the pavilions and around World Showcase. And that, if you've not done it, it's all a bit of fun and
it's a little bit like the talking about the stuff that's on your phone, the one that's in Galaxy's Edge, because your phone has a data
on the
pad.
Play app.
Yes, the Play app, so you can scan it and then just complete missions. And
I've never done that.
I've never actually done it, but I know you can do it. But I think that's the thing with everything a lot of stuff we're going to talk about tonight, or what we've spoken about. It's whether you've been to Disney on your first trip is there's other things you go back for,
Mm.
and it's like you didn't realise. It's like I've heard of the pirate scavenger hunt, but I've never done it.
No, I've never done it.
No.
Yeah, it's brilliant. I was also going to mention as well, because again, these are things that people, when you plan a trip, you don't actually consider, because everyone's trying to plan what rides you're going on and also when you're eating food and where. Right? But again, we talked about Animal Kingdom. If you get the train to Rafiki's Planet Watch, so get on in Harambe, you get a little bit of a backstage view of the Rhino House as you go. You arrive there, but there's an animation class.
Yeah,
and it is great. You get to draw different Disney characters. It doesn't matter how poor you. I was going to swear there as well, Claire. It doesn't matter how poor you are at drawing, because I do not consider myself to be an artist in any way, shape, or form.
Well,
yeah,
there is one.
Maybe the different one. But it actually takes you step by step into drawing these characters, and you come away with a pencil drawing, which if you take a bit of pride in and things like that, and then you look over your shoulder and you realise, I look at Alison's drawing, I'm like, oh, flipping it, okay.
Yeah. I give up. I remember they used to have them all over, but I think the one in Rafiki's is pretty much one of the last ones in Walt Disney World, isn't it? They used to have one at Disney Quest, and
I think there's one at
Hollywood Studios.
Art of Animation.
Yes, there is one. The resort. But other than that, they and it used to be with a live artist at the beginning, at the front, and now it's a video, which is fine. But I remember there was one in Disneyland Paris as well that I've got photos of Morgan doing, and it's just like it's such a great thing, and it's actually really relaxing because everyone's there, you're doing an activity, you're focused, and it takes maybe 15-20 minutes. But it's especially the one in Animal Kingdom. If you're hot and kids are exhausted, go and do that, because it gives them something to focus on other than just being hot and tired. It's in the air conditioning. You're in that environment up at Rafiki's. The toilets are nice. And
the other one as well, Claire, if you know there's a storm incoming.
Head up there.
Head up there, because actually, if you get the alerts on your phone to say, rain, thunderstorm incoming, 10 minutes, and you're like, right, quick, let's get on the train. Let's get there. And that's exactly what we did last summer. Is we knew we were going to get absolutely drowned for at least an hour.
Head up there and chill.
You were indoors. You didn't have to worry about
I reckon if they put some food and beverage options up at Rafiki's, it would be really good. It would definitely attract a few more people. But
they just need to copy the menu from Nomad Lounge.
They can keep move the goats.
I'd say my drawing skills might improve after a few drinks from Nomad Lounge.
It doesn't work for me. I then go to stick person, and if you try to draw Simba, Simba doesn't work as a stick person. Hannah's in the chat. Hannah, if you haven't already listened at the start of the show, please go back and listen. We did say a massive thank you to you for what you said last week. Collective hugs and things like that. Love it to see you in the chat as well this week. But I won't go on again, because it was a lovely ending to the show last week.
What else?
I think there's so many, right, that people just, and they're very much sort of park-based things like that. Now, let's go back to something a little bit more contentious, because actually, I think we've mentioned this a few times before, but water. If you're taking yourself into any theme park, you get hot.
Oh yeah.
You need to rehydrate. Now, one of the worst things of all you can try and do is rehydrate at Dasani Disney price. Right?
$6 for a bottle.
And you're just like, what? I can buy 24 bottles of water in the supermarket for exactly that price. So again, be a little bit clever. Take the water with you. If it's frozen, it's great in a backpack. Keeps your back cold, and it's also really lovely to just sort of. You can't drink too much too quick, because actually you're waiting on it.
You're waiting for it.
It's a good
melt
way.
A little bit. Yeah,
but take it in yourself. It saves you a bucket load.
And also, if you're in Starbucks, every time we were in Starbucks, we always make sure
cup of water as well.
Yeah, cup of ice water as well. It's just
and you get it in a Starbucks cup that you can then refill.
Yeah, and the Starbucks cups, they are huge. So
but you can actually get free water at any quick service. Not at obviously, I think everyone who listens to us regularly would know this, but quick service locations that have got soda fountains. So a quick service that doesn't have a soda option and they're serving bottles of drink, you can't. But most quick service options where they've got soda drinks, soda fountain drinks, anywhere, any bar will, like, I'm aware that the Tambu, what's the bar in Animal Kingdom outside by Harambe? Is that Tambu? No, Tambu Lounge? Yeah.
Tambu refreshments.
Something like that. They will do, there's water everywhere, but just go to you don't even have to queue up, just go to the collection window and say, can I have some ice water, please? And they will give you as many as you want. And I remember Morgan last year, he was like, just get the ice water, I'll go and get it. And he was off and he was striding away. And he came back and he had this thing that obviously they'd been taught when they were working, which was, don't hydrate for today, hydrate for tomorrow. That was his saying to us. It was like, just drink the water, because tomorrow you'll feel rubbish if you're dehydrated. And that's such a good point. And so, you don't have to buy Dasani, you don't have to buy water anywhere, you can just get it for free. No one's going to quibble.
The other one as well, and this is the contentious one, right? And I will chuck it out there because it really annoys a lot of people who, again, if you buy a resort mug and you're staying on a resort, you get your mug. Now, if you go back with the mug, it can still be used in certain places. You can't use it for the rapid refill bits because it's
coded.
It's all chipped and things like that.
Yes, lasts for 14 days.
Cast members are told not to engage with people who are using older mugs in certain locations. Now, I'm going to mention the electric umbrella purely because it's no longer there. But there are places in parks where you actually have a drinks machine that you can refill an old Disney mug with a drink of your choice. Now, I just think it's okay. A little bit of beating the system, a little bit of taking a bit of money, but actually, come on, we're talking minuscule numbers of cents from a big organization that you've already paid over the odds for a plastic cup in the first place. So again, it's a good way of saving.
We were in
and saving the planet as well.
Where was it? Yes. We were in Connections eatery, so we'd ordered a meal. We hadn't ordered a drink with it; we just wanted the meal. And they said, "Oh, here's a cup for 2 drinks." And I said, "But we haven't paid for it." They said, "No, there you go, just go." Yeah. And it's like that's one of those locations, and that's what it's for.
If we're talking free drinks.
Here we go.
No, I'm not talking alcohol. I'm talking about the place we all like to go to get a sugar hit when you're feeling a little bit low.
Oh, yes.
In Epcot. And do you know what? Club Cool.
Yeah.
Ignore the sticky floors. They do their best to try and keep them not sticky. But Club Cool.
They're not as bad as they used to be.
They're not. No. But Club Cool is an amazing place to go. If you're feeling a little bit droopy at that point in the day, go in there and try. Go in there and try all, because none of them are sugar-free, and they are just pure
sugar.
Brilliant.
Do you have a favourite?
My favourite is the which one is it? I can see the picture of it.
The cucumber Sprite one.
The Russian cucumber Sprite is good. Yeah. It's Bonbon Anglaise, I think it is it's the non-fizzy one.
Oh, okay. That's not the one that tastes like barbecue sauce, is it?
No, that's the Chinese one. That's
Chinese.
Oh, I don't like that. Yeah,
it literally tastes like it should be sponsored by Sweet Baby Ray's.
It's really awful. But I've just had a flashback to Jason and Lisa Milam doing that
Coke challenge.
That Coke challenge up at the Coke building. Which one is it? I'm trying to remember where it's from. I think it's from Madagascar, the one that I like. Yeah. And it's the non-carbonated one, and it's nice. But there is a limit to how much of it you can drink, because you can feel like the enamel on your teeth being rotted away as you're drinking it, and it's like this is just pure sugar. But
I just love just standing there. Just you can tell people who've never tried Beverly before.
Try working there for 3 months. Morgan spent ages laughing at everyone. And they had a challenge. So they had a challenge where you have to put a bit of each of it. You had to do 1 cup and a bit of each of them in the cup and drink it. Yeah. So if you want something to do, then everyone try that. I can't remember. It's got a name. I can't remember what it's called, but yeah, it's disgusting. Is what it is.
It actually sounds that bit where it's taking Beverly to a different level.
Beverly and barbecue sauce in one cup.
I'm not. You're not selling it to me at all. Like,
no. I'll try and remember. I'll try and get Morgan to tell me what it was called. There was a name for it, but yeah.
Yeah, definitely. Again, thank you in the chat. See, the chat gets better every week. It's really cool, isn't it? Actually, what is really nice is just that collective dislike of Beverly.
I like Beverly.
I don't mind it, but I must admit it's one of them things that you actually you've got to go to Club Cool and you've got to do it. Right?
That's it. Club Cool Suicide. Thank you, Heather. Well done.
Oh, hey, well done, Heather.
She knew.
Wow.
Hey, on the ball. I like that. That's cool.
Yeah. This sounds like a challenge for August.
I watch you, and it's disgusting. So I don't need to do it again.
Oh dear. I'm going to move us on because if we're talking about drinks and things like that, then let's again refer back to the mid-month podcast. Not only have we got a podcast, brand new podcast out on Saturday. I don't even mention that yet. But the mid-month one, we actually had a really cracking chat with Adam from Devonshire, who again took 2 children under the age of 5. And again, I think I used the term in the podcast that him and his wife deserve a medal for actually doing what they did. But actually dining and tickets for children under 3 is completely free. So again, there's a big saving. I think we did this the very first time we took our Joe, and it was like we knew that we wouldn't have to pay for a ticket. We knew we didn't have to pay for any of his dining needs or anything like that. It's all free. So you actually then get one person in the party traveling for nothing. Yes, it's a little bit of a problem when you're on the airplane, and it's I openly admit that's not the fun part at all. But thinking about if you've got a young family, and I think a lot of people always say, "Oh, I want the children to be a little bit older so that they can actually remember it and things like that."
But actually, they're free.
Yeah,
they eat free in buffet restaurants.
If it's free, I'm all for it, and actually, it is what it is. I think that's the other way I'd say it, and it's just like it is such a fabulous thing to do. They go, see, look, people know that we're talking about podcasts and things like that. Chances to join us. Thank you for joining us. Yeah. Upcoming in a future mid-month.
Watch the space. Yes.
Yeah.
We've barely started our list of things.
I'm going to something. I'm not sure whether it's on our list or not, but I'm going to say park maps. I don't know.
I put it on the list. You didn't read the show note.
I've got my own list.
I put it on the actual list.
If you want, if you've got your own list, right, give us 10 minutes. I'll watch the end of the Everton game, right? And you fill in for a bit, and then we can come back to it.
Park maps, you're right, Ben.
It's one of those things. I always thought it won't be long before they won't be around as much because everyone's going to have a phone in the parks, and it's just something that actually. The more times we've gone, there's always that joke of like, I am the map, I know where I'm going. But it's something that's really nice that when you're trying to help someone else plan their trip, to actually give them a physical park map so they can actually visualize what going to the park is going to be like before they go.
Yeah.
So I saw I think it was on maybe Facebook, friend of the show, Terry, had on her Facebook page a picture of a storage box where she had every park map for every park that was open at the time, going back to I think it was like 1978 or something.
Wow.
Every single year.
Wow.
She has managed to collect, and they're all filed perfectly in terms of year with little labels sticking up. Honestly, it was the most beautiful thing I think I've ever seen. I was like, that is genius.
And I'm not surprised we were there to get the 50th one that was out on the was it the first?
And I think like there's some of those speciality things, those special years, and like this year, will you get a 71?
We've got the 45th,
right? One. Would you get a 70th one from Disneyland?
Unless it's out a week early.
No, it won't be. But there are things like this, and even like the Mickey's Not So Scary things, and like each of those special things. Just picking a park map, pick up 2. I've got Food and Wine and Flower and Garden Festival little booklets.
Yeah.
They're so cool when you look back on them. And like I've had people say, "Oh, we're going later in the year. Can you bring me one of those?"
Yeah.
And everyone, you pick them up sort of without thinking about it when you walk into the park and like shove them in your back pocket or in your bag or whatever. And I've got loads of them, and I just think, God, I wish I could totally do like a box file of all of this stuff. And I think that there is a number of things we're going to talk about tonight, and we probably touched already. If you're someone who's into like scrapbooking, or even one of those like display frames where you layer things in it, like a memento frame or something like that, there's so many things you can pick up that are really quite special. Absolutely, part maps is one of those things. You can use them if you're crafty like Megan. You could decoupage things with part maps. I've seen people do candles.
I've seen
and it looks so cool. I'd love to have the time or the effort to do that. I can't.
If Disney is listening, not ever get rid of park maps.
Right, park maps are they're so fun to look back on, and we've got some from like the 90s, and when you look back and you just think, well, this stuff doesn't exist anymore. When you look at Hollywood studios and you've got the backlot tour and all of that stuff, it's like, where's it all gone? But
where's Galaxy's Edge? Where's Toy Story now? Right? Where things are, and we're going to have that in the future when so much changing all the time in Disney.
I reckon my parents have got a whole load of stuff in the loft at their house. I'm gonna have to go and have a look for it. But...
I actually think that's one of the best ones, and I actually feel that is a little unknown one, and I feel that, and I was guilty of this last year, because actually once you picked up a part map for each one, I never thought of picking another one up. I really should have done, just to add to the weight as you're coming home. But it's how you use them afterwards, and that's the bit that they just sit in a folder, and they sit in. I've got box files for each year we've been, and you just put loads of stuff like that in, and they are so special, and they are so much of a time and a place that you really need to just all over them. Yeah,
like a historical timestamp. They're brilliant in terms of like if you were going to do like a memory box for someone, then they're awesome. If you're doing something special in the year and you want to remember that, you can buy like the newspaper from 1974 or whatever it is. You can totally use them in that sort of thing. I just think they're brilliant, and people do when you've been a number of times, you do just walk past them. Or if you're my son, you pick them up in Japanese and Spanish and French, and he's like, I would say, Morgan, did you grab a map? And he'd come back and he'd give me one. I'm like, it's in German. That's not helpful. He used to pride, the same way he used to pride changing, Dame Judy's voice to something not English on Spaceship Earth. He used to absolutely love pick. We tend to close our eyes and just like touch the screen and do that, and then see what comes up. Judy in Japanese is quite an interesting experience. But,
I have to admit, we've
carry bags.
Yeah, we've got the one from Pandora on the opening day when we were there for the preview.
Cool.
I'm just looking around. We usually have one kicking around in here, but
I think as well. I think this is a really important one, and for me personally, we went through that whole spell probably about 8 or 9 years ago, where everything was rebranded Disney Parks, right? And it became really kind of sterile, and I felt that certainly Orlando lost its own individual image, and so it has gradually come back, and it's got rid of the Disney Parks, and it now has Walt Disney World, and I feel that for me is such a more of a statement than it is to have a Disney Parks bag that you can pick up in Paris, you can pick up in California.
I'm looking forward to going to California and picking up a Disneyland bag. It sounds really weird, but we on the cruise last year we got a Disney Cruise Line one.
And I will give things to people who I know are Disney fans. So if I'm giving Anna something that I bought, I will put it in a Disney bag for her, just because it's something that's come from Orlando. And I think, John, you mentioned about the rebranding of things, and I would say that I think one of the things that I picked up, I was just looking around to see if I had one around me, and I don't tonight, is within the resorts, some of the resorts, and go with me here, some of the resorts in their restrooms have very nice quality hand towels. Not the ones where you have to wave in front and it's out, or you're like trying to and it's not, and it tears and all of that stuff. But they have the lovely folded
like cotton
hand
type.
towels. And then I've got one that actually in front of me, which is from Disneyland Paris for their 30th anniversary. That sits in, and that's one that John sent me when they came back. And I still have several of those in the drawer in front of me because I never use them.
I have the beer mat.
I've got one of those. Yeah. Just because that logo is amazing. But certainly Coronado Springs, if you use the restrooms up by Dahlia Lounge, and I don't speak for ladies because I haven't been in the gym, they have stacks and stacks. They don't have normal hand towels. They have stacks and stacks of these really thick hand drying napkins that are incredible quality and are going in the bin.
We've got some from which say Contemporary Resort because they used to be in the restrooms next to what is now Steakhouse 71 when it was the Wave.
Yeah, so I think gradually they're changing some things to hand dryers, which is a contentious topic. We're not going to go there, but certainly for my family at Christmas, we may have used some Coronado Springs hand towels as napkins when we had dinner on Boxing Day because like fabric napkins on Christmas Day is lovely. On Boxing Day when you've got nibbles and you've got cold meat and cheese and stuff like that, I would just use paper napkins, and so I absolutely had taken some of those home.
Yeah,
because they're just going to be used and thrown in the bin. So I had a stack of them that I put in my suitcase, and I still have some left, and I will stock up when I go in a few weeks' time because they're brilliant. And actually, they're huge, and you can use them at barbecues and things like that.
I'm adding that to my list for August.
They're awesome, and in the same vein, I think I've mentioned on previous shows about the beer mats and coasters that you get in lounges, and there are
Barcelona Lounge at Coronado Springs.
Yeah, right. John's got Enchanted Rose ones, Raglan Rose.
Raglan Road. One from the room on the resort.
Yeah.
I actually, I've got to admit, I'm really bad for collecting beer mats.
Oh no, I do.
And actually, that was possibly what started us with our Great British Mickey Waffle beer mats. So,
we have them all over the house.
Amazing how they become like collateral for cast members last summer. So I'm going to take. I'm going to take some more again because actually they were. They became a trading
weapon.
Certainly amongst cast members at Haunted Mansion.
But beer mats, there are sets of them. So places like Docklandies, there's a set. I think there's 6 in the set, and Ogre's Cantina. There's Megan, correct me, 5 or 6 in the set there. Then I'm trying to think where else there is. There's various places that have a full set of different logos and stuff on them. And a lot of them are part of the story in terms of certainly the ones at Ogre's and at Jocks are part of the story, the background story to the location. And if you speak to your server nicely and say, do you think I could, 6 in Ogre's. So could I have a full set of the coasters?
Yeah.
And be nice to your servers. Be nice to all cast members, but be nice to the servers and tip them appropriately. I got from Jocks on our one trip, we got 3 sets, full sets, and she literally just went, "There you are." And they don't mind. They're going in the bin after they've been used, and they're absolutely awesome in terms of having them around the house. And we have them on the dining table. It's just like, oh yeah, it's a Jocks coaster, and it's fun.
Yeah, I think that's a must, and I think that. I think we're in the territory of looking at where, it is those things that resorts eventually will throw out. I want to know what the most random thing, because I'm just reading what people have got. I was looking at Megan's got brown napkins with the red snacks all over them from the quick service. Look at Heather said she's still got a paper plate from America on Parade in Disneyland in 1976. I want to know what the most random collectible that wasn't people have got, because it's I just think it's hysterical. We're with our people, because these are the things that people pick up and hang on to stuff. Yeah, absolutely.
It's got Disney written on it, or it's just a memory of something from Disney. So you go, no, I'll just hold on to it. It's fine. We've got like a whole box of stuff.
Yeah, I've got some of those, like the cups, like the hot drinks cups that they used to have, or they still have sometimes at the side of the, like in the resorts where you've got before they had the mugs.
Yeah,
and I think
if it moves, put it in the bag.
I think they might have come from Sunshine Seasons. You know where you have the coffee bit at the end in Sunshine Seasons. So if you're having a cold drink, you get a normal cup, and then they have the ones that are like slightly foamy.
Yeah.
And those are. I've got a stack of those in a drawer in the kitchen that I completely forgot that I had. I have no idea where they came from. There's about 10 of them. I was like, oh, I could use one of these. No, I'm not going to use it. I need to just keep it.
How many pens do we have?
Oh, millions.
Because we've got a Disneyland Paris, Walt Disney World, and a Disney Cruise Line one. At least.
The pens, the black and the white pens.
I think that's where this whole show started. When
I think it was.
Yeah,
I think it was.
I actually feel that the pens become. There you go. I prefer the black ones because the black ones are rarer than the white ones.
Millions.
What I do find is they've become rarer as everything's gone towards sort of mobile ordering, and actually you pay by card and it's just a touch and go on the card machine and stuff. It used to be brilliant to see how many. I think we came home with a lot of pens in the past.
Every single thing that I sign, I keep the pen.
So do I.
I'm really bad.
I think we can open our own WH Smiths.
Yeah. Sean says he's never got a pen. Where have you been? Every single shit that I sign, the pen goes in the bag.
I'm guessing Sean's never been to Walt Disney World.
Right?
There's an art to it, though.
Maybe they don't give you them in Chef Mickey's.
Yeah, I was in a hotel in York, and I did the same thing with one of those.
Oh yeah,
pens. Yeah. It becomes a habitual thing, you know.
They don't do pens that are premiering.
It's an automatic reaction when you sign something in Disney World that the pen goes in your bag or your pocket, and the piece of paper goes back to the server. They don't, they're not paying for the pens.
I was in a Hard Rock hotel in Spain, right? And the pen, in true Hard Rock fashion, had on it stolen from the Hard Rock Hotel, Port Banús. I'm like,
perfect.
Like when you fly, was it? Yeah,
I have one of those.
No,
I have one of those. I'm trying to remember where it is. It's in a drawer upstairs.
The
wait time. Yeah, it is. That's what's now got no. And it was from. I can probably think of. I can't. Oh,
I ended up always getting them on Toy Story Mania.
No, it was no. It was Magic Kingdom. It might have been the beginning when Seven Dwarfs first opened.
Current wait time 2 years.
Yeah, right. But yeah, I definitely have one.
Yeah.
They're like premium souvenir that because you had to be selected. You felt like the gods were shining on you when they gave you. Could you carry this? And it's usually to a child as well, and it's like, yes, I can.
Yeah.
I can do my bit to help.
I've just thought of something as well, and I think Megan mentioned it from the pencils from mini golf. However, if you play golf at Walt Disney World, and again when you used to get the Oak Trail 9-hole walking course as part of your UK ticket, but you go to see the starter and he gives you tees and things like that. I've not bought golf tees for
20 years,
for a long time, and I've got bags in the garage that I decant into my golf bag. And because they last forever, the quality of them is so good.
Yeah, they're really good.
And they just last forever, and everyone knows it's yours because it's got Walt Disney World golf on it.
Cool.
That's
it's the stuff that you keep that is good quality.
Yeah, it's cracking.
But this is all like you don't think about it, but when you're thinking about what can I take back from my friend, and you're like, I have to go to the shop and buy this stuff. Actually, if you've got a friend who plays golf, brilliant, and it's free, and it's like all this stuff is
and it also makes up for all the overpriced stuff that you pay money to buy merch. And let's it is a balance that is definitely there, But
I think there are other bits like I don't know if anyone else has picked up the transportation cards. I haven't seen them as readily around that they were a few years ago. So if you're getting any of the Disney transportation, the transportation cast members often have these little cards. So there's a monorail one, there's a ferry boat one, there's a friendship boat one, and you can collect them in terms of like a full set. And then there's also the safety cards that I'm definitely
the ones with like Timon and Pumbaa.
Timon and Pumbaa ones, yeah. So Millie definitely has had several of those because we always.
I thought you were talking about the ones from the plane.
No.
Oh my word. That wouldn't go down well with
Virgin 747 safety card. No. I'm talking about the ones that, and Millie's had them often at Animal Kingdom when you arrive early. And you're waiting at the turnstiles and you're having a chat with a cast member at the turnstiles, and is it your first time here and all of that stuff. And often they would give Millie one of these. They're just like credit card size, laminated, and they've got Timon and Pumbaa on one side doing something. I think it's like 12 in the set, and on the back there's a piece of safety advice. And one of the ones that we got several of, and it is a family saying repeatedly, is "It's a rope, not a ride." Because it was encouraging kids not to swing on the ropes and the barriers in the queue lines. So whenever Millie is like swinging on something, we were like, "It's a rope, not a ride." And it's like constant in our house. It's but they're awesome, and they're really good quality. They're waterproof. They're you get them quite open. And they're really fun as well. And it keeps everybody safe too. Safety, the first key. So yeah, I like those.
Yeah, there's also Hannah's mentioned as well about the driving licenses on the Speedway, which used to be a little card one. But I noticed last year that they've actually, as you come off the Speedway, you can pay $5 for a nice license picture. I'm thinking, hang on a minute,
like Legoland now.
Yeah, someone's sort of upsold that whole bit of the. Oh, let's not do that. Let's get money out of people because it's. Yeah, don't get me started.
It's still cheaper than the. I was going to say, if you're on a rant, it's like this. I was new when that time of Disney started to introduce cabanas in Tomorrowland, and it was like from then onwards, it was like, okay, what can they charge you for apart from the air that you breathe? That was the moment where it was like, okay, they're willing to charge a lot of money for pretty much anything. Yeah,
something stupid. Something that Sean mentioned ages ago in the chat, Sean, I did see it, was he mentioned marshmallows.
Yeah. Oh, and s'mores.
And we have not talked about the fire pits in the resorts, and every single day, rain or inferno heat of August, you can go to the resorts, even if you're not staying there.
Go get warm by the fire.
Go get warm by the fire. Or middle of August, Animal Kingdom Lodge, warm your buns in front of the fire, and that seems to. I think it's I've seen it at both the deluxe resorts and also the moderates. Yeah. So at Coronado Springs, they do it down by the pool. There is a fire pit somewhere, and you can have as many marshmallows as you can eat before you vomit for completely free. There is no limit. No one is going to say, no, you've had your fill. They used to do it as a individual, like go and get 2 marshmallows at a time. Now they tend to do a little bag of them, so you get 5 or 6 in a bag, and then you just go and you can toast them. There are specific rules around the toasting, and follow the cast members' instructions to make sure you are safe, people. But you know what, it's and you give them your stick at the end. Don't just throw it away, because they have to break it and put it in the fire. There's things that have to happen, but those you can pay to have s'mores if you want to do the whole graham cracker. Sorry, that's not right. You're not allowed to say graham, are you? How do you say it? Graham cracker. Graham cracker with chocolate and marshmallow. You can do s'mores if you want, and you want to pay for them, unless you're at Vero Beach, and then they're free. But certainly just the marshmallows on a stick. I reckon Millie's probably got more. She's eaten more than 30 in a go.
Oh my word!
Definitely before dinner as well, because it's like 5:30, 6 o'clock. It's like you haven't even had dinner yet.
No, I'm dread to even think. That's just like Yeah, I'm not even going there.
Yeah.
And as well, if you're in a resort that you're not staying at, you are very welcome to go and watch the free Disney film.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
As well.
Polynesian's great for that. They do a blow up screens, don't they?
Yeah. They do it at Boardwalk. They do it at Beach Club.
Riviera. I've seen them.
It's brilliant. It's a really lovely thing to go and be part of.
Yeah.
So
the resorts are really good for free stuff, actually. And
while you're there, you get to see the fireworks if you're at the right time of night, and depends on the resort. Also, transportation between resorts, something you don't have to worry about paying for.
Yeah.
If you want to wait for the bus or get around using the monorail, or Skyliner, or a boat.
Yeah, and again, people forget that. But also, if you're not staying at the resort, you can go and use that transportation and actually go and do the monorail back crawl. Or go and do the Skyliner one is one that I really fancy as well.
The monorail bar crawl. Who would do such a thing?
Not me, honest. we knocked out an afternoon. It was lovely. It really wasn't. And actually, it was.
That is good fun.
It was really. That was It's definitely
because they're nice bars.
Yeah.
They're nice places to sit and chill.
Aren't they just?
Yeah.
The other thing about resorts, and I'm looking.
Hannah's saying go and see the Mardi Gras parade at Port Orleans. I've never been there on Fat Tuesday, but is it just the one day, or is it for a few days around that? But apparently it's amazing. I've seen lots of
I've seen
videos and photos of it. But yeah. Sean's just like, you're only 30 minutes later. It's fine. Catch up. You can watch this on repeat. You know, if you want to watch it again, you can catch up with the jokes later on. It's okay.
That must be a satellite delay to his gym.
It must be. Yeah, that's what happens when you live in the northeast.
Also, if you stay,
Yeehaw Bob.
Yeah,
love Yeehaw Bob.
Oh, two, right? There you go.
Never seen Yeehaw Bob.
Man.
Yeah, it's on the list.
That's a Friday night, isn't it? He does.
Thursday night, I think.
Thursday night. Oh, maybe I'll try and get there in April.
Now that's another one that goes under the radar in particular, isn't it?
It's so funny.
Yeah.
Jelly Rolls is closing, so that you won't be able to go do that very much longer.
That's interesting. Jelly Rolls is moving, but they're
offside.
Where they're moving to. Yeah, offside.
But, something I'm just going to throw in there because it's a bit of an interesting one in the context of what we're talking about. I would just want to mention that in all deluxe resorts, and John and Ben, you may not be aware of this, and I can understand why. All deluxe resorts, in the ladies' restrooms, they have free sanitary products, which I know may not be important to everyone, but it is a really, really lovely thing and may not be aware. So I would just say that share that with your friends. If you've got, you've got people who are going and, people need some supplies, then actually you can go to any deluxe resort. So if you're at Epcot, you can go around to Beach Club, every single ladies' restroom in that resort.
That's quality.
Any of the deluxe resorts will have free sanitary products available just out for everyone. So I think that's something that everyone should do everywhere, but I wanted to mention it because it's important.
And again, look at this. I know I keep coming back and slagging Disney off and week after week and things like that. But actually, this is something where they're actually ahead of the game. And
totally.
It's been groundbreaking. And actually, I love that fact that they do that. Mm-hmm. I didn't know that.
I didn't think you guys would know that. But it's just one of those things that the first time I realised, I was like, oh my goodness, that's amazing. And then I realised that it's only in the deluxe resorts, which is a shame. It should be every resort. But it is an option. If you're there and you're dining and you need to go to the loo, and it's there.
Yeah,
I like that. There you go.
Hannah's got a good point. If you are visiting hotels, if you're just driving, they ask for people to wait even at night unless you have a dining reservation.
Yeah.
And I think that they're clamping down on more. But if you are using Disney transportation, you could.
They're not.
Then they're not.
I think it depends on the location of the hotel as well. If you're trying to get in somewhere monorail loop wise, then it's always. But go
Or if you're
somewhere
trying to go
else.
to like the boardwalk or something, but
Yeah.
like a half an hour before fireworks, I can see why.
But I you know what, go to Caribbean Beach and get Skyliner over.
Yeah.
You know, go and grab some food at Sebastian's and then Skyliner over to Epcot.
Also, park at Disney Springs because Disney
and then
Springs car parking is free.
Is free.
Yeah,
and then it's actually really easy to do. It's just add a little bit of time onto it, a little bit of planning. But actually, I can see why.
Yeah.
You know, it was actually open to abuse by so many when it was a case of people rock up at, like you say, Ben, 10 minutes before fireworks and they're into the boardwalk and they're just basically they'll stay. They won't even go into Epcot.
No.
Which is maybe worth saying as well, because we mentioned about fireworks earlier as well. But there are certain places that you can actually go to. You don't need a park ticket. Magic Kingdom fireworks, if you go to the TTC, or as Claire and I found last summer, you go to Grand Floridian, easy for me to say, and you can actually get
the
a free view.
area.
Yeah, and you just
really good.
cracking view across there.
Holly Beach.
Yes.
Yeah. If you go to Epcot, you got Boardwalk Beach Club, and that little bridge between the two of them elevates you slightly, so you get a really cracking view. Or if you go to the little lighthouse bit for the yacht and beach,
that's a great place.
But you can actually get the lighthouse in part of the shot as well.
I think that photography wise, that's an awesome place because you get the reflection on the water as well in Crescent Lake, and good too.
And obviously, if you're in and around the monorail loop, and you can also get the water pageant as well if you're up resort hopping and things like that. So loads and loads of little different things. Just thinking just a little bit outside the map. I'm gonna have a little complaint here, because last year we went to Ghirardelli's at Disney Springs, and for the first time ever,
no free chocolate.
No free chocolate. And I thought, right, that's you. I'm going to Walmart and I'm going to buy. I'm buying me Ghirardelli's from Walmart. That's it.
It's cheaper.
Yeah, it is. Yeah. But if you're not going to give me a freebie, I'm not going to buy it from your shop. That's it.
It's a real shame because it was something nice. Just you could go there, but maybe the same.
And you just go round and round and round.
I think probably someone at Ghirardelli's did the math on it and actually
worked out how much they were selling.
Go on, Claire.
I was talking of things that cost a lot of money, and there is a free alternative. As a parent who has paid a ridiculous amount of money for Millie to go to the Bibbidi Bobbidi Boutique several times. She's now 12 and a half and too old. I keep telling her. Having done it on the cruise ship, having done it at the Grand Floridian when it was open, and the only one she hasn't done is Disney Springs. You don't have to pay all the money. You can get pixie dusted for free in Sir Mickey's. So next to the castle and next door to Princess Fairy Tale Hall, there is Sir Mickey's. If you go to the desk that is at the end nearest to the carousel and just say to the cast member, can we get some pixie dust, please? They've got a script that they say, and they will absolutely do the whole thing. They make you make a wish, and you will get the same glitter that they use in the Bibbidi Bobbidi Boutique all over you. And believe me, this stuff goes everywhere. You cannot get it out of your hair. It is all over your clothes. It's in every single place you didn't think it could get to, just from over your head. But they will do.
All over the high collar as well.
Yeah, they will sprinkle it for anyone who wants it, whether you're adult, child, male, female. They do not care. They will pixie dust anyone, and it is a fabulous experience. And Millie and I always go and do it just because it's a lovely thing. And you know, in that same, I think Hannah's just said, in that same shop at the other end of Sir Mickey's, there is a photo opportunity. So there is a whole castle set up at the background where they have they have a photographer. It's designed for the kids that have been at the Bibbidi Bobbidi Boutique to go and have some photos done. But anyone can walk up there. There is a memory maker photo pass photographer there. They will take some photos for you, or you can do They'll use your phone if you want to, and it's they'll pose the kids. I've seen, and adults. I've seen them, like, they'll sit there and they go, right, and cross your legs and point it in. And there's one at the Grand Flow as well upstairs, which has got Cinderella's slipper.
Yes. We've been
And again, it's got a lovely backdrop, and you can have photos with the glass slipper on the pillow and all of that stuff. That is all free, and it's all in your memory maker if you've got a ticket that's got that included, and that's great fun. So go and get your glitter, and then go and have some photos taken, and it's all free.
Yeah. Can I also add another one? I know we're really pushing for time.
I know there's too much to talk about. All this stuff that's free.
Free.
Now this one probably files under loads and loads of the planning shows that we've done over the past few weeks and past couple of months as a podcast. Now, loads of people will take. I know, Claire, you take your super glue and things like that. But in every Disney park and in every resort, there is free first aid. If you have a problem, go and speak to someone. Again, go back to the park maps. The first aid post is actually on the park map.
Yeah.
They are absolutely superb, and it doesn't matter how small the cut is. It doesn't matter if you have a serious issue. You may be dehydrated, you might be feeling really rocky, and this whatever. Go and speak to someone, because actually they're fully trained, and they will be able to help you, and they will actually, they won't go and do major surgery, etc., and get you out of all the cost of American healthcare. But first aid will be offered for free within within part of your park ticket, and again, it's water parks and it's resorts, and I think it's so important to remember that, because a lot of people, I think the best example is if you get a cut and it won't stop bleeding, you think, we're gonna have to curtail the date. I'm gonna have to go and find a chemist. I'm gonna have to go to Walmart, find something to wrap up. You don't have to. Get it done inside the park, and it's a cracking one. And
they'll give you plasters or band-aids or all of that stuff.
Yeah.
Blisters. They will help you with your blisters. They will give you band-aids. They will make sure you've got painkillers and that sort of stuff. Yeah. They're brilliant.
I've got a couple of things on my list. If you go to Basin, there are soap and body scrub samples that are free.
Okay.
So that's and also Disney Springs, if you're there at Christmas, they've got a Christmas tree stroll.
Yeah.
Which used to be a trail, which used to just be in one area, but now it's dotted all over Disney Springs, and it's free.
I've just remembered about Basin. I had a funny moment, and I'm going to mention that tomorrow night.
It wasn't about after hours and Carlos.
There's an after hours show tomorrow night, and I was just had a funny thought about Carlos and his bath bombs at Basin. But, there is an after hours show tomorrow night. For anyone who doesn't know after hours, Carlos, Jason, and Colin having the fun that they have together. They only do a show every 1 or 2 months. So tomorrow night there is one. Whether I can stay up till 2 a.m. to watch it, I don't know. I will find out tomorrow. But yeah.
Nice one in the chat from Hannah. It's also about the baby care centre. I think that's another one. Don't feel as if you're a parent, you're not sort of in that sort of zone where if you need a little bit of help or just a bit of space and a little bit of time, they are absolutely superb. And again, don't actually get highlighted enough. And it's well worth knowing that you do have somewhere you can go and get either a bit of privacy, even water, even just that little bit of time to yourself. And I think quite often, certainly in August, that was always one of the best things, with just being able to go somewhere where you can just get a younger child who's but a younger child who's in a buggy, you don't really kind of understand. They're not getting the same sort of aircon that we are, and so that they can be overheating really quickly. So that's a cracking one to actually mention as well. And there's probably loads more. I'll also mention Wi-Fi, which also
it's all right. It works.
It doesn't, except if you go to Paris. Never rely on Paris's Wi-Fi, but the Disney Wi-Fi in resorts and in parks is actually really good. Yeah. I know I keep coming back to this, and I'm positive we need to do a show at some point, or certainly a segment of a show given the fact that EE in this country are now charging £25 a week to use your phone in the United States as a roaming charge. £25 a week.
Yep.
Buy an eSIM, people.
Yeah.
Let's
And
talk
how
about
you
it.
get-
I think
and how
Becky
you
used to
get
be on
that.
Sky Mobile, and at one point it was like they were going to charge £6 per day, and it was like it's just
The Vodafone costs something like that. There's a set amount of download megabyte you
And
can use.
I think there's just a lot of carriers that have decided that actually they want to charge more
Easy
for
money.
it. So actually using an eSIM for your holiday is so much easier, and it's so easy to do.
And there's loads of special offers as well. So if you get it at the right point, you can get the double the capacity for, it really is. For me, I had a look the other day.
Who's already got it. You can get referral codes that can give you free data as well.
I looked at that, and there's a data only, and then there's one that gives you a US cell number as well. I think I looked a couple of weeks ago because I was thinking forward to the trip I'm going on in a couple of weeks, and I was like, oh, I'll have a look and see what it was. And I think for something like 5 gigabyte eSIM with one of the carriers, something like $8. We're talking like for a $5, and that would cover everything outside of the Wi-Fi when I'm there. And realistically, I'm not going to use anywhere near that amount of data. But that was, you could buy 1 gig and it was like $4 or 5 for $8. I was like, do you know what? Just for the sake of the fact that I'm going to be driving, I can use my Waze, and there's no issues. And so if I want to be able to negotiate around the I4 and not use it, then I've got data to be able to do the sat nav. It's so easy, and I know people think it's a bit of a difficult thing to set up. It's the simplest thing in the world to set up. If I can do it, anyone can do it. So I would say
we'll do a show with a few steps.
I think it's
great. Can I pick up with Sean? Sean's in the chat, and he's just said it was £25 a month last year, and it was. And actually, I felt that was at £25 a month.
Even that's pushing it.
It was, but I felt that was okay. I would pay it because it actually become you can do that.
If you're going out for a couple of weeks, up to a month, you're going like that's okay. I can swallow that. But
25 a week is I think is just taking the.
I have international roaming on my contract, and that means that generally I'm okay. But if you go over a certain amount, then they charge you £10 a day. And that's a
problem you get is that they will then some of them will throttle the speed. So actually,
totally.
Where it's like, oh, it's not even usable. We can't even try and do things. So it's actually sometimes best just to get a local
eSIM, and it connects to the local network, and it's so much simpler.
There we go. I think that's a show coming up in the future as well.
I think we probably outstayed our welcome.
I think we've really cracked on big time tonight. And actually, again, if you've got stuff, if you're still in the chat and you've got stuff to share, join us in the Waffler's Arms. Share your handy hints and tips. Again, if you're on catch up, come into the Waffler's Arms. Tell us some of your little hacks and things like that. And again, if you listen to the podcast, it's been one of them shows where just time has just completely gone.
I know. I reckon we could keep talking about this for ages, but who knew there's all this free stuff? We didn't even mention cornhole.
There you go. Perfect. There you go. And this is what's going to happen after you listen to this. You go, they never mentioned this, they never mentioned that. Or we do this, and they never mention it. Come and tell us.
Tri-Circle D. Go and see the horses at the Tri-Circle D Ranch.
Hidden Mickey hunts at like Wilderness Lodge.
Right. There's so many things. Let's make a list of them in the Waffles Arms for people who are going this year of all the things that they can do.
Yeah, that'd be superb. I'm not sure, Ben, if you've done the headline for this.
I do. I've got one.
Okay.
Blank spotted at Disney's Animal Kingdom. See if anyone can guess this.
I've seen this today, so I know exactly what this is, but I'm going to say Claire with a cocktail.
in both hands.
Claire double fisting at Disney's Animal Kingdom. There you are. That's today's.
Lots of backsides of animals spotted at Disney's Animal Kingdom.
Always.
Absolutely.
Baby elephant.
Baby elephant, small tiger with a big line to see it.
Like a 2-hour queue to see that. Such a cute tiger.
People expiring from heat.
I was going to say, given the size of the bit, it won't be Josh.
And I was going to say, angry cast members in the Thai bus.
Yeah.
Gators spotted at Animal Kingdom.
Yeah.
Cool.
Do you know what? I will do the reveal. Do you know what it is, Claire?
I do. It was Joe Rody today.
Yep.
Yeah, I saw that. And actually, the pictures I've seen is him with a massive entourage.
Yeah, a group of Imagineers. From what I understand,
they were still at Pandora.
Yeah, it's all about Pandora. So I think the Imagineers he's with are working on the Disneyland's version of Pandora.
Amazing.
So he's been able to spend time and go through. It's probably a lot easier to actually show his workings, walking them through the process.
Yeah, it's very, very cool. And there's like this great big semicircle of people. He's clearly talking passionately, and the bits are going around.
I can imagine the conversation. It's just like, so, and someone say, when we were in an Imagineering Academy, we were told that no, we don't.
We ignore all of that. Do exactly what I want. I think it's handprint on the wall.
Do it that way, or it's no way. It's my way or highway.
You do it properly. Ignore everything you've been told before. Be true to the story. Push the boundaries. I love it.
There is no budget.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah.
Amazing.
And it's always good to see Joe Rody in the park.
Back in the parks, definitely.
Yeah.
Exactly. Ben,
I've gone long.
put up the nice little scan the QR code bit. There you go. If you want to find any more of our stuff, scan that. It's like so easy, isn't it? Yeah.
Yeah. So for those listening on the podcast, you can't scan the QR code, but what you can do is go in the description and click on the link on there to our website, which will take you to everything that we do. But for those on YouTube, don't forget you can scan the QR code on your screen.
Do we have the QR code on our social media?
I think we do. I'll have to have a look.
Let's pin it on our socials.
Yeah.
I should know that. I don't.
Yeah.
I've been away. I've been in the sunshine.
Spend so much time at the bar.
Yeah.
Not those prices in Dubai. Blimey.
No
Disney look cheap.
Oh, don't tell them that. They'll raise the prices.
Oh, my life. I've never seen drinks so expensive in my like £20 for a cocktail. So what, $30 for a cocktail?
Okay, that's expensive.
It was a dry week.
Make up for it now. That's it.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Load up on the duty free on the way home.
Yes. Megan, such a fun episode. I love free. We all love free, Megan. That's the fun. That's the bit.
I'm not sure about the next week's episode is going to be free.
No, and I think that's it. So next Wednesday we're going to go to the opening week of the Flower and Garden Festival in Epcot, and I'm pretty sure it's going to be less flowers and more food. I can see the way that show's just going to divert onto food probably and looking at different options.
There'll be some food. There'll be some stuff. There'll be some bands that are not Starship.
Topiaries.
Topiaries as well, yeah.
That vacant couple of weeks has been filled in.
Was it not to be TBC anymore?
No, it's been filled in, and it's not Starship. I'm a bit worried about Mickey.
And it's not a band called TBC.
No, I'm worried about Mickey. I think it's not good.
That's
see.
Not good. Something stopped them now. That's it. Every time you mention Starship, I'll come out with the same gag. Anyway, if you haven't done so, join us on the socials at GB Mickey Waffle. We're all over different, all over the whole usual shenanigans of socials. We don't really do X because I personally don't think it's a healthy place. Anyway, most people are joining us on there. We're on Facebook. That's all that matters. Thank you to everyone in the chat once again. And this is the bit where on a Wednesday it just really does
brighten our week.
It does, because actually you are the conversation starters, and you actually give us such a really good buzz. The fact that you actually keep the show going. We're now an hour and a half. An hour and a half in an hour show.
So you could almost say you are the magic.
Oh,
yeah.
There's a song about that.
Yeah. There we go. Yeah, that's probably it.
But you have to pay to see it now.
Yeah, that's it. We can't see it.
That's probably the right time to say until next week. We'll see you. We'll see you soon.
See you real soon.
Now my wheels in motion and my